What's going on, guys? This is your motivation guy, Keith Allen, and today I'm here to bring another video to help you out on your rank climb. So it's gonna be a good one, man, because today we're gonna take a deep dive into how to gain rank points. We're gonna go over a ton of tips and tricks to come out of every game with a big bag of RP. But before we can fill that bag up, you gotta fill that brain up. You guys ready for this? Let's get this going. All right, guys, so this topic, like many we discuss here on this channel, requires some pre-game preparation before dropping it. First of all, we need to have a clear understanding of how to gain rank points. Kills and assists reward you with 10 RP, a piece with no additional points being rewarded beyond 6 KP. As squads are picked off and you make your way into the top 13, you will begin earning more flat RP the longer you survive, as well as gaining big multipliers on the rewards for kill participation. These multipliers and flat RP you gain as you survive offer more opportunity for rank points than any amount of kills early game ever could. You get far more points for finishing 5th with a few kills or assists than you do, say, if you just hot drop, get your KP limit, and die. This is why the most important aspect of gaining consistent RP is staying alive. Keep this in mind before you hop into ranked games because, we've all seen all too often people get trapped in low elo, hot dropping every game trying to slay out. While kills provide valuable points, there is a cap on how many you can get, and the real points come in when you combine the kill multiplier with the high placement. Okay, so now that we know how RP gains work, we need to discuss the importance of your legend while playing ranked. Okay, so, while we all have that one legend that we love to insta-lock, it's important to have a few legends that you're really comfortable with. We recommend picking 3 characters with at least one of your picks belonging to the recon class. We'll talk about why in a bit. So if you can't play multiple legends now, just try some new ones out in unranked. It's always best to really get some reps in and, make some mistakes and, learn in some normal matches before putting your squad's RP on the line. And if you're struggling to learn a new legend, check out our website. We got some amazing coaches who can teach you how to master a new legend in no time. Link is in the description. Make sure you guys definitely check it out. So the goal here is for you to be comfortable and prepared, and having a couple of extra characters you can play will give you confidence going into every queue. If your team picks a composition that just doesn't fit that main of yours, being able to pick Gibby for your Valkyrie player or Bloodhound for scouting and the use of survey beacons can potentially help your squad perform much better. And on top of that, you won't be sweating it when you aren't first picked because you're gonna always have an available character to play. And so with frequent map changes, it's not a bad idea to diversify yourself a bit, allowing you to be prepared for anything new Apex seasons throw at you. Ultimately, having a few characters you can play with will allow you to set yourself up for success before even landing. All right, guys, before we move into the next tip, we have our question of the day for you guys. All right, what's your favorite legend of all time? It's gotta be Octane for us. Something about his speed has always kept us coming back to the Casa de Octane. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite, and let's get back to the video.
Come by Casa de Octane for a cold one.
All right, guys, so after getting one of your 3 comfort picks, apply the same concept to where you want to start out your games. You should pick a few locations, preferably in different quadrants of the map, and get used to dropping at them. If you practice landing at just a few spots, you're gonna become much faster at looting these areas as well as fighting at these locations if you do get contested. This will decrease your chances of dying off spawn as you climb the ladder, keeping you from having those dud games that lose your RP. If your drop spot happens to be on the ship's path, it will very likely be more contested. For example, if the ship is going directly through the middle of the map on World's Edge, it is very likely that all the spots towards the center will be highly contested because they're easier drops. On the flip side, spots like Geyser and, Trials will be less contested because they aren't as easy to land at. A lot of people, especially in the lower ranks, will try to go for the central locations. So if you get good at dropping, you can easily get a high tier loot POI uncontested towards the edge of the map and have an easier time winning the game. It is important to really choose a spot that isn't insanely contested so you don't risk dying off spawn. But you also want to make sure that you have ample loot and aren't too far away from the ring. You want to choose a spot that will allow you to rotate as the ring closes in a timely manner. No amount of uncontested loot is worth dying to the circle or having it on your tail all game. Once you land, speed is everything. You need to loot fast and be prepared to fight for your landing spot. Picking a location near the edge of the map will often give you an uncontested drop, but it's not guaranteed. This is where knowing the POI you're choosing really comes through, allowing you to loot faster and learn the best ways to fight in the area. Knowing where the most dense loot spots are can save you valuable seconds on drop. And learning all the angles for gunfights each area has to offer will make you deadly from the get-go. Having some reps under your belt, speed looting and fighting in POIs will make your initial drop a breeze. And don't underestimate how much RP you will save yourself by having a good early game plan. One of the easiest ways to lose RP when trying to climb is dying off spawn. This is why you want to avoid hot drops and make sure you know every nook and cranny of the POI you choose to start at. Okay, so you're going to want to finish up at your initial landing as soon as possible, always looking to prepare for future rings. The faster you can move on to more loot, a survey beacon, and a good zone positioning, the better. Rotations are one of the most important aspects of gaining RP, as early and smart rotations can play a huge role in getting high placement. You and your squad should always be watching the ring timers, looking to be one step ahead of the circle. Using survey beacons can be a big help, especially in higher ranks as your rotations become that much more important. This is a big reason you should ensure you have a recon character in your character pool, as having the ability to use the beacons can help you make much smarter rotations. Knowing exactly where the next ring is can put you in a perfect position for teams pushing the circle and net you a ton of RP by keeping you alive and getting you kill participation. So make sure you prioritize those beacons. It's also important to know that it is possible to over-rotate. Rotation should be fast, but also on time, leaving you just one step ahead. If you go too far into the center of the safe zone too quickly, it can lead to enemy squads surrounding you. So don't be surprised if you jump tower to the center of the ring and get pinned between two enemy teams. And so guys, with that being said, the first squad to gain a good edge position has a huge advantage. A lot of squads will not rotate on time, always having the added pressure of the circle at their back. You should avoid this, as it really just forces you into decisions that you may not make if you didn't have the added worry of the zone. In the later stages of the game, as all the squads are converging on the last few zones, being one step ahead of them will force them to fight you from an unfavorable position. This early positioning lets you use the closing circle to your advantage, forcing them to choose between zone damage or pushing out into the open. If they are stuck between you and the circle, and you have a power position, hold your ground and you're going to win those gunfights. Don't be afraid at this stage in the game to really capitalize on an enemy squad rotating late. While we have been talking about playing safe, if you make it into the top 10 and see good opportunities to fight, do so. If you have rotated early and looted well, you're in prime position to make sure you get that maximum kill participation. Fights at this stage of the game can be more measured. You have good loot, positioning, and are already into high placement. You can get very high quality kills, knowing you've made it far enough into the game to take advantage of the multipliers. If you had a hectic early game and you already have a few KP, then play it a bit safe. Avoid fights and make your way to the last couple circles, as the higher placement will give you multipliers on your existing kills and assists. It's important to remain adaptive, right? Choosing your game plan and rotations based on how the game has panned out so far. Our final thing to consider is called ratting. Okay, so let's say that you lose both your squad mates and you're in the final couple circles with no safe way to resurrect them. It's time to play the rat. In this case, you will want to play as elusive as possible. Early rotating to center circle positions and laying low. You can get you and your squad some viable RP from just staying alive and get a slightly higher placement. Alright, so let's say you have 6 kills or assists and you rat your way from 5th to 3rd. Due to the flat RP gains from placement and the multiplier from kills, you would get an additional 40 RP for just staying alive longer than a couple extra squads. Certain legends, like Octane and Wraith, are particularly amazing for ratting due to their high speed and ability to avoid shots with their mobility. The overarching theme here is preparation and good decision making. If you iron out your drop locations to ensure good starts to matches, you're going to remove many of your, early deaths and bad games. Mastering quick rotations will allow you to focus on your game, not having to worry about the circle, and having strong positioning when taking fights with other teams. So learning to assess the situation and adapt your decision making based on your team's position in the game will help you consistently gain RP. All right, guys, practice the tips we talked about in this video and you're on your way to your dream rank in no time. But the key is practice. Make sure you're actually trying out the things we discussed today. If you have any other videos that you would like to see on the channel, hey, hit up the comment section down below. And if you guys like the video, sub to the channel. And if you want to connect with me, I'm right here on my Instagram at Your Motivation Guy. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.